And even with this one, it was really kind of tricky, like how to start it. But let's maybe point out, this movie is based on a true story, which has been made into a documentary, which was quite successful. So why the need of doing, again, a movie about this? What was so interesting about it?
Well, I was inspired by the documentary, and what inspired me was two things. First and foremost, you know, this idea that, you know, using art to heal and using art to make sense of complicated issues in our life is a universal story. That really excited me. But more importantly, I also saw this fantastic opportunity to present to the audience this world that was going on in this character's mind. And that's the kind of thing that only movies can do. And those are the stories that I'm always looking for, is stories that can present, you know, situations that can best be told in a cinematic way.
What I find out very interesting is that it wasn't really so much about like the details when it comes to the trial, or actually just like the reason why it happened. Is it just me who felt it that way, or was it actually intended for me? Because what I really appreciated about the movie, that it kind of gave me the idea of what it feels like to be in this position, how painful it was. Was that just something that I felt it for some reason?
No,
or that you
no. I mean, I appreciate that, because that's what I was trying to do, is that I didn't want it to just be about surface stuff. I didn't want it to just be about the details of, I mean, that's why in the movie I don't tell the audience what happens to his assailants, you know, because to me, it's what's important is that character grows, that character heals. I'm my main character, and it's not a courtroom drama. It's a human journey. It's an emotional journey.
About the technical side, I mean, before that, the thing is, it's really difficult to talk about it without spoiling anything.
Yeah, I understand.
It's even some device, and it kind of reminded me from its shape about as a reference to some future, some past work of yours. Was that also? Is it just a coincidence that some of the devices looked like something out of a older of your movies?
No, they're similar, but they're different. I think I've been, you know, everything that I did in my career from a technical standpoint has sort of prepared me for making this movie. So I just used all the tools that were at my disposal, you know. But we've done something obviously new in this movie, where, you know, we really, you know, create these dolls that evoke real human emotion in the essence of the actual actor who's performing the doll. It's pretty unique in that sense.
When making this movie, now comes the cultural point of view. Again, well, let's face it, there's some Nazis happening in that movie. From the German perspective, again, it's like, again us? I thought we passed it on to the Russians, to the terrorists. I thought we were out of this entire thing. But then again, you had some German actors being part of this entire thing. How did they react to the pause? Like, well, it would be nice if you take this role, where they're like, oh, great, I can do this, no problem. Give me the uniform.
Right. Well, you know, two questions to two answers to that question. First of all, listen, all great countries have their original sin, if you will. I mean, you know, America has the sin of slavery, that they will never, it will always be with them. You know, it will always be with them, and as it should be. You know, it was the country was founded on a horrible, horrible premise. So yes, that's always going to, and so, you know, the Nazism in Germany is part of its history. It'll always be there. It just so happens that these action figure dolls that are very popular with people who are in that sort of subculture who like these things are, you know, they're all these sort of German officer, you know, characters. And so when the real Mark Hogancamp decided that he's going to present the villains, it was like, they're going to be these Nazis. That's the simple answer. They're the villains who come into his world and and create havoc.
And for the cast, for the German actors, they were like, yeah, sure, we do this.
Oh yeah, they got into it. They got into it. Although the actor who played the Neil, the actor who played really the villain SS character, he's English. But anyway,
you took someone else to do this.
So anyway, okay, that's just the way it is.
Finally, talking about the narrative, for you as a storyteller, how difficult or how easy has it become these days just to produce those kind of movies? Because I understand with all the competition happening now on streaming platforms, and like the behavior of viewers of spectators has simply changed. Do you feel comfortable with that change? Because it seems that you, for your stature, you're the kind of person who would be like, yeah, I take it, I don't take it, or is it really that, challenge accepted, I'm just going to work against it, I'm just going to work with it, go with the flow? Yeah,
well, I'm still making movies that are, sort of the traditional 3-act structure movies. I think the streaming platforms they've invented this new art form, which is this long form streaming that the audience can choose to watch however they want. They can binge watch it all in one sitting, or they can break it up and they have complete control over it. That's an art form that never existed before. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really kind of interesting to present these, stories that couldn't be done any other way. The streaming services haven't presented, in my opinion, a movie yet that is in the cultural conversation. I mean, there isn't one that everyone says, oh, have you seen that movie that is bum, 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 right? And I'm not quite sure why that is. I do hope that we have movies that the audience continues to want to see in the cinema that are not just either cartoons or comic book movies. I hope that the audience continues to want to see, because there is something incredibly unique about sharing an emotional experience in an auditorium with a bunch of strangers. I mean, that's a feeling that is unique, and it's important, and it should be experienced. I think that movies have changed because so many people watch them in solitude. And so the art form has changed because so many filmmakers, I don't think, really understand how their stories might work in a full auditorium with 500 people. So I worry that if people don't continue to go see movies that might be different and unique, that's part of the art form that actually might disappear.
All right, and for the last one, it was also great to see like Steve Carell in this movie. Mm-hmm. But I heard that you and Tom Hanks are coming back. Is that something that is never going to die? This relationship with you and Tom Hanks?
Well, I think I would say Steve and Tom are my two favorite actors. They're like guys. They're guys who are really fun guys to work with. Brilliant actors, and they are really, really, really talented and can do anything. I have a great long-standing relationship with Tom. We're good friends, and if I'm doing a movie with a part that he's right for, obviously I'll do it with him.
All right, then thank you so much again. It was an honor. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. All right.